in case of R load, we know that so diode conduct from 0 to pi only, right? 0 to pi only, and during diode is when diode is conducting, voltage across diode is equal to 0. So source voltage would appear across the load, right? And diode voltage would be 0, right? In case of inductive load, we know that in inductive case of load, source voltage is same as the load voltage. Diode conduct for entire cycle, that is from 0 to 2 pi, it conducts, right? So this is the behavior of the single phase half wave diode rectifier with the pure inductive load. So what one can expect for RL load? So RL load, so we expect the behavior intermediate between these two. So in between these two, in between these two, that is this way. So for R load, diode conduct for pi radians, and for L load, diode conduct for 2 pi, and where for RL load, diode conduction angle should be ranging from pi to 2 pi, between these two. And if inductance is dominating, so inductance nature is predominant, then behavior is close to the L load. And if resistor is dominating, then the behavior is close to the R load. So keep this in mind before discussing about the half wave diode rectifier with the R load. Now let us see half wave diode rectifier with the R load. Now see, voltage across source is Vs, voltage across diode is equal to Vd with anode positive and cathode negative, voltage across load is equal to V0 with this polarity. So voltage across resistor is Vr and voltage across inductor is Vl with the same polarity. And all are connected in series, so current through source is same as current through diode is same as current through load. Now source voltage equal to Vs, that is equal to Vm sin omega t, is mentioned in this waveform. So that is equal to Vm sin omega t. I have considered 2 cycles in order to explain the operation of the single phase diode rectifier with the RL load. Now so we know the conduction angle of diode for RL load, so that ranges from pi to 2 pi, right? That is somewhere between pi and 2 pi. I have considered some beta, so between pi and 2 pi. So during which, so diode is forward bias. So why, even though here if you see, even though after pi radians the source voltage is negative, still diode would conduct, so that source voltage is same as the load voltage. So what would be the reason? The reason is the inductive nature of the load. So if this inductance is more, if you increase inductance, if you increase the value of inductance, then this beta would move towards the 2 pi, and if you decrease it, then this beta move towards the pi. And so if inductance value is 0, so behavior is similar to that of the R load alone, and in case the resistance value is 0, the behavior would be similar to that of the inductive load alone. Okay. So now, so from omega t ranging from 0 to beta, so the current would flow from source to load through this diode, and that would have once again this kind of wave shape. So this wave shape is not similar to that of the output voltage wave shape, because it is not purely resistive nature. This is not resistive load. In case of resistive load, output current would follow the output voltage wave shape, but it is not pure resistive load, it is RL load. So wave shape would be somewhat intermediate between R load current wave shape and L load current wave shape. And see, if you see, so in case of the R load, peak value would occur at pi by 2. In case of L load, peak value occur at pi radians. In case of this RL load, peak value would occur somewhere in between pi by 2 and pi. See, it is somewhere here, it is occurring. And how do you find the mathematical expression for this current through the load? So during the current, during 0 to beta, we know source voltage is same as the load voltage, because diode is conducting, voltage across diode is equal to 0. So simply Vs is equal to, that is Vm sin omega t is equal to R into I naught plus L into dA by d naught, where R is resistance value, L is inductance value. So solve that particular equation, you would get the current mathematical expression for the output current. Okay. And during this time period, that is from 0 to beta, during this omega t range, that is 0 to beta, the diode is conducting, so voltage drop across diode is equal to 0. So this is the nature. And coming to beta to 2 pi, during beta to 2 pi, so we know at beta current through inductor is becoming 0. So current through this passive load that became 0, then voltage across that also becomes 0. If voltage across becomes 0, then the source voltage would appear across the diode. Source voltage is by the time is already negative, so diode is going to be reverse biased. So this entire source voltage would appear across diode and load voltage becomes 0. So load voltage becomes 0, and load current also becomes 0, and source voltage is same as, so from beta onwards, so from this beta onwards, source voltage is same as the load, the diode voltage, this way. So this the peak value is going to be minus Vm in case if this beta is less than 3 pi by 2, because the negative peak occurs for the input voltage at 3 pi by 2, right? In case beta is less than 3 pi by 2, then so peak voltage is going to be minus Vm. In case if this beta is greater than 3 pi by 2, then somewhere it would occur somewhere here. So in which case the the voltage across diode is going to be always less than this minus Vm. The peak inverse voltage is always less than this minus Vm. In that case, the initial value of the reverse voltage across diode is same as the peak voltage. So please do remember this particular point. Okay. So this way one can find out. So peak inverse voltage equal to minus Vm is taken in this particular case, assuming that this beta is less than 3 pi by 2. In case if that is greater than 3 pi by 2, then definitely the peak inverse voltage is equal to, so Vm into sin beta. So magnitude of Vm into sin beta. So please remember this particular point. Okay. And this behavior would repeat for every cycle. So from 2 pi to 4 pi also same behavior. You will find same behavior for the load current and load voltage, and diode current and diode voltage respectively. Of course, diode current is same as, source current is same as the load current in this particular case. Now V0 is equal to Vm sin omega t from omega t to omega t ranging from 0 to beta, and is equal to 0 from beta to 2 pi, right? And how do you find the mathematical expression for the sin naught? That is from this particular thing. So V0 is equal to R into I0 plus L di naught by dt. So solve this particular equation, you will get this kind of wave shape for the load current. And coming to the peak inverse voltage, in case beta is less than 3 pi by 2, that is equal to Vm, and if beta is greater than 3 pi by 2, in that case the peak inverse voltage is equal to magnitude of Vm sin beta. So the magnitude of this voltage, input voltage at beta. Now coming to the various parameters, let us try to find out various parameters. But before that, let me show you that the voltage across resistor, average value of voltage across resistor is equal to average value of output voltage. Let me derive that. So in order to derive that, let me use these facts. So firstly, voltage across resistor will have same shape as that of the I0, right? So that is this way. So voltage across, see, I0 is this, right? I0 is equal to this, and VR, voltage across resistor, is equal to I0 into R. So if R is, for example, it is greater than 1, then it would have this kind of shape. So shape is same, maybe magnitude different. Okay, so 0 to beta it exists, and 2 pi to 2 pi plus beta it exists, and so same thing would repeat for every cycle. And voltage across inductor, that is equal to VL minus, that is equal to VL, which is equal to V0 minus VR, right? So that is voltage across inductor is equal to V0 minus voltage across resistor. So, and that can be indicated in this graph this way. See, so V0 minus VR is this, that is shown with this shaded area. So this is the voltage across inductor. This gives you, and similarly for maybe at this particular omega t, so both are going to be same, and later on, so VR is going to be more than V0. So in this case, so voltage across inductor becomes negative. So this becomes negative, and we know that voltage across inductor over a cycle must be 0. So then only the current becomes 0 at beta. See, at beta, so what is happening actually? Area under voltage across inductor becoming 0. That is the reason why the current is becoming 0. So when current through inductor becomes 0, if area under that becomes 0. So that is what is taken. So area under VL over a cycle is going to be 0. Then only the I naught at omega t is equal to 2 pi is going to be 0. Of course, the area under voltage across inductor is going to be 0 from beta to 2 pi. But so anyway, forget about it. Overall, so if I consider one cycle, so then the area under the voltage across inductor must be 0. Even though it is existing from 0 to beta, so I will consider entire cycle. Of course, while considering area under curve, we will consider area from 0 to beta only, because beta to 2 pi, the area under the voltage across inductor is going to be 0 anyway. It exists from 0 to beta only. As long as current is flowing, voltage across inductor is going to be non-negative. If current is become 0, voltage across inductor becomes 0. So this is the fact that one has to remember. So average value of voltage across inductor is going to be 0. And average value of output voltage is equal to average value of voltage across resistor. So because average value of voltage across inductor is equal to 0, because V0 is equal to, we know according to KVL, so V0 is equal to VR plus VL, right? The instantaneous value of voltage across load is equal to instantaneous value of voltage across resistor plus instantaneous value of voltage across inductor. And apply average both sides, you will get voltage across, average value of voltage across the load is equal to average value of voltage across resistor plus average value of voltage across inductor, but average value of voltage across inductor is equal to 0. So from this fact you can say that voltage across, average value of voltage across resistor is same as average value of voltage across the output. So this is a very important fact one has to remember. Even for our load, average value of voltage across inductor is same as average value of voltage across resistor. But same cannot be concluded in case of RMS values. So RMS value of voltage across resistor is not same as RMS value of voltage across the load. So same way you cannot derive. Okay, that is not true. Okay, please note this. Please note this particular point. It is very important. Okay, yeah. Anyway, coming to the various parameters for this particular single phase half-wave diode rectifier with RL load, supply voltage equal to RMS value of supply voltage equal to Vm by root 2, average value of supply voltage equal to 0 anyway. Coming to average and RMS value of output voltages, so you can compute and you will find average value equal to Vm by 2 pi into 1 minus cos beta, and RMS value is equal to this. So okay, so please so do verify these formulas later on. And average value of output current is equal to V0 by R. We know the average value of voltage across resistor is same as average value of voltage across the load. So I0 usually, I0 is equal to V0 by R usually, VR by R, but VR is same as V0. So where V0 and VR are average value of voltage across load and voltage across resistor respectively. Instead of considering average value of voltage across resistor, I have considered voltage across load directly. So this way, average value of voltage across load is equal to average value of voltage across load by resistance. Average value of current through load, average value of current through load is equal to average value of voltage across load by resistance. Coming to peak inverse voltage, peak inverse voltage, as I mentioned, so these are the peak inverse voltage. So peak inverse voltage equal to Vm for beta less than 3 pi by 2 and equal to Vm into sin beta otherwise. Of course, using this parameter, one can find out input and output performance parameters. So, okay, please do it. Coming to conduction angle of the diode. See, diode is conducting from 0 to beta, right? So 0 to beta. So that varies. The range of beta is from pi to 2 pi. So it is greater than pi and less than 2 pi. Of course, in case of pure inductive load, beta is equal to 2 pi, and in case of pure resistive load, beta is equal to pi. And if for RL load, it ranges between pi to 2 pi. So now let us consider freewheeling diode. So let us consider half-wave diode rectifier with RL load and with freewheeling diode. Now this is known as freewheeling diode. So let us see the operation. So this plays very important role in improving performance of the rectifier. So we shall see shortly what is that improvement. Now see, voltage across source is equal to Vs, which is equal to Vm sin omega t, as shown in this particular wave shape. You can see this is the wave shape of the Vs. Voltage across diode is equal to Vd with this polarity, and voltage across load is equal to V0, and freewheeling load is so it is connected in anti-parallel with the load. And if you observe carefully, so as long as V0 is positive, so freewheeling diode is reverse biased, so current through that is equal to be 0. So once this load voltage try to become negative, so this freewheeling diode would be forward biased, so it would be short circuited, so it conducts. So the purpose of conducting freewheeling diode here is to make sure that load voltage is not going to be negative, so that average voltage is more. In previous case, without freewheeling diode, we have seen, so voltage, some portion of voltage is going to be negative, right? Voltage also would take negative value. So average value of load voltage becomes less. But if you see, by connecting freewheeling diode, we are avoiding that negative portion, so that average value of the load current, load voltage would be more. Okay, that is the main agenda of connecting this freewheeling diode. So now anyway, let me explain the operation. So from omega t ranging from 0 to pi, that is during positive half cycle, so this diode would be forward biased. So the voltage across that becomes 0. So this source voltage would appear across load directly. And this is RL load, right? So current through this RL load would increase smoothly, and that will follow this kind of wave shape. So till omega t is equal to pi. And voltage across diode is going to be 0. And during this omega t ranging from 0 to pi, during positive half cycle, this diode would conduct. This main diode would conduct. In fact, source current is same as this diode current. So source current is same as diode current is same as the output current. So this output current during this positive half cycle is same as the source current. And coming to freewheeling diode is reverse biased by this load voltage. So it would not conduct. So current through freewheeling diode is equal to 0 for positive half cycle. Now what happens? So that is the operation during the positive half cycle. And during the negative half cycle, during starting of the negative half cycle, during at omega t is equal to pi, what would happen? The load voltage would try to become negative, so due to which this freewheeling diode would be forward biased, and that start conducting. Now what would happen? The current through load, which is also same as current through inductor, would be take this path. So from pi to beta, omega t ranging from pi to beta, so that is from pi to beta during this period. So this output current would take this path. So that would shift it from this diode path to this freewheeling diode path. So current would flow this way. And because freewheeling diode is conducting, voltage across this freewheeling diode is 0. So voltage across load is same as voltage across freewheeling diode is also equal to 0. So that is from omega t ranging from pi to beta. Now during this period, what is voltage across the diode? Voltage across diode is same as the source voltage, because voltage across load is 0, right? So applying KVL, you would get that source voltage is same as the diode voltage. So this source voltage is same as diode voltage from omega t ranging from pi to beta. So see, so pi to beta. So this is the current wave shape, and this is the voltage across diode. And during this period, load current is same as the freewheeling diode current, and source current is 0 because it is reverse bias. This diode is reverse bias. So see, source current is 0 and load current during this period is same as freewheeling diode current. So this is the operation during this period, that is omega t ranging from pi to beta. And since beta onwards, what will be happening? So beta onwards, so because current through load became 0, so voltage across the load becomes 0, current through load also becomes 0, and current would not take either this path or this path, because current itself is became 0, current became 0. And during this period, that is from beta to 2 pi, omega t ranging from beta to 2 pi, so what is happening? The load voltage is 0, so source voltage would be same as the diode voltage. So apply KVL for this loop. By applying KVL for this loop, you would get that the source voltage is same as the diode voltage Vd. So that is the reason why from omega t is equal to pi to beta is same as the source voltage, and beta to 2 pi also same as the source voltage. Okay, so this is the operation of the single phase half wave diode rectifier with RL load and with the freewheeling diode. So for one cycle, and same thing would repeat for next coming cycles also, for omega t is equal to 2 pi to 4 pi and so on. So same thing would repeat. So same kind of voltage wave shape you will have and same kind of current wave shape, and then diode across, voltage across diode, current through source, current through freewheeling diode, and so on. Now, so if you observe carefully, see, there is no negative value for output voltage. So previously we have seen that the load voltage and load current both are positive from omega t is equal to 0 to pi, and from pi to beta the load voltage is negative and load current is positive. So during the period omega t ranging from pi to beta, voltage positive and voltage negative and current positive. So the power absorbed by load from omega t ranging from 0 to pi, that is during positive half cycle, is positive. It takes absorbs power, and during pi to beta, so if current is negative, you can see that. So during pi to omega, pi to beta, so voltage is negative and current is positive. So without freewheeling diode, so during this period, power is given back to the source, But in case of diode rectifier with freewheeling diode, what is happening actually? During pi to beta, current is taking this path, and voltage across load is 0. So there is no power fed back to the source. In fact, the energy stored in inductor is given back to the load itself, that is load resistance itself. So the more power is taken by the load. So same input volt amperes, the power taken by load is more in case of freewheeling diode when compared to the rectifier without freewheeling diode. So input power factor is going to be more because power delivery is more, power delivered by source is more for same VA, same volt amperes, input volt amperes. So automatically input power factor is going to be more. So effect of freewheeling diode can be summarized this way. So it prevents load voltage from becoming negative. So more V0 and more I0, and more energy stored in inductor is transferred to the load. So more efficiency, more input power factor. And load current is also going to be smooth. In fact, if you consider the conduction angle of the load, in previous case load conducts from 0 to beta 1. In this case it conducts from 0 to beta 2, where beta 2 is more than the beta 1 usually, because in this case we have opposition from the source, but in this case there is no opposition during the phase angle from omega t to beta 2. So it will conduct for more time, so load current becomes more smooth. So this is about the single phase diode rectifier with L load and also with and without freewheeling diode. So freewheeling diode improves the performance of the rectifier. Now next one, let us consider half wave diode rectifier with the RE load, battery load. So battery with small amount of resistance will be indicated by small r. So voltage across load is equal to V0, which is equal to voltage across the resistor plus the battery voltage. See, that is this. And source voltage equal to Vm sin omega t. And voltage across source is Vs, voltage across diode is equal to Vd, voltage across load is equal to V0. As long as diode is conducting, so Vs is same as V0. And if diode is not conducting, so what would happen? So current through resistor becomes 0, so V0 becomes E. It is not going to be 0 if diode is not conducting. So because of presence of this active element, so voltage across the load is not 0. Okay, it is not 0, it is going to be E. So if I0 is 0, even current is not 0, you will have some load voltage which is same as the battery voltage. So that is the difference between without battery and with battery. Okay, so please remember that. And moreover, the voltage across diode is same as Vs minus VE. So as long as Vs minus VE is negative, so diode is going to be reverse biased. Once Vs is more than this battery voltage, then there is a chance for diode to become forward bias. Okay, So that is the important observation one has to remember. Okay. So now, let us see the operation. So this is the input voltage, and so battery voltage is shown by this thick blue line. So this is E. Now as long as Vs is less than this battery voltage, diode is going to be reverse biased. So diode won't conduct. So current through the load is 0, voltage across load is same as the battery voltage. Okay. And once this input voltage becomes more than the battery voltage, so diode is going to be forward biased. So diode start conducting. So current through resistor is not going to be 0 in that case. So voltage across load is same as the source voltage, because diode is conducting, voltage across that is equal to be 0. So once diode start conducting, voltage across source is same as the load voltage. So keep this in mind. And what about voltage across diode? Voltage across diode is same as Vs minus V naught. So when it is conducting, it is 0. If not conducting, so the difference is going to be negative, and that would appear across the diode. So diode is going to be reverse biased. So whenever diode is not connecting, it is said to be reverse biased, and voltage across diode is equal to Vs minus V naught, Vs minus V. So please do remember this. So let us try to analyze the operation. So now omega t ranging from 0 to t1, that is this t1. At t1, Vs is equal to E. So till this period, diode is going to be reverse biased. It is going to be in off state, because this voltage is less than this voltage. So in that particular case, the current through the load is going to be 0, and load voltage is same as the battery voltage. Load voltage is same as battery voltage, current through load is 0. And coming to Vd, so voltage across diode, it is not same as Vs. In fact, that is difference between these two, which is going to be negative. That is going to be negative. And omega t ranging from theta 1 to pi minus theta 1. So this is pi minus theta 1. So during this time, in this interval, Vs is more than the battery voltage. So diode is going to be forward bias, that would conduct. And during that conducting period, voltage across diode is going to be 0. Source voltage is same as the load voltage. This way, source voltage is going to be load voltage during this period. So diode is conducting, source voltage same as load voltage, that is equal to Vm sin omega t. Coming to current through the diode, current through diode is equal to Vs minus E by R. So Vs minus E by R. So Vs minus E is going to be this, and that divided by R gives us the current through the resistor, or current through load in fact. Of course, current through resistor is same as current through load, which is same as current through source, and current through diode also. Now during this interval, diode is so forward bias, so diode voltage is going to be 0 from theta 1 to pi minus theta 1, and current through load is equal to Vs minus E by R, Vm minus E, Vm sin omega t minus E by R, Vm sin omega t equal to Vs, so Vs minus E by R. And coming to pi minus theta 1 to 2 pi during this interval. So see, during this interval, that is, so pi minus theta 1 to 2 pi. So what would happen? So the source voltage is less than the battery voltage, so diode is going to be reverse biased. So diode won't conduct, and load voltage is same as the battery voltage. Load current is 0, so load voltage is same as the battery voltage. So load voltage is same as the battery voltage, and load current is same as 0. And coming to the voltage across diode, that is equal to Vs minus E. So Vs minus E, that is this. So that is shown here. And Vs minus E is same as Vm sin omega t minus E during this period. And same thing would repeat. So this is the operation for first cycle, and same thing would repeat for next coming cycles also. That is from 2 pi to 4 pi and 4 pi to 6 pi and so on. So same thing would repeat for next cycle also. Okay. So and coming to conduction angle, what is the conduction angle of diode? So conduction angle of diode is equal to pi minus. So this is the conduction angle. That is from theta 1 to pi minus theta 1. So conduction angle is equal to, so difference between these two angles, that is equal to pi minus theta 1 minus theta 1, which is equal to minus pi minus 2 theta 1. So this is the conduction angle of diode. And peak inverse voltage equal to, so the peak value of this one, so peak value of this equal to minus Vm minus E. So that would occur somewhere at omega t is equal to 3 pi by 2. So this is the operation of the single phase half wave diode rectifier with the RE load. Now let us try to find out certain parameters. So we know V0 is equal to E from 0 to theta 1 and pi minus theta 1 to 2 pi. And it is equal to Vm sin omega t from this angle during the conduction angle of the diode, that is from pi minus theta 1 to pi minus theta 1. So from that calculate the average value of the output voltage using this formula. So you find out. So this would be the mathematical expression. I please request you to verify this. So please do verify this. And coming to RMS value, once again, so we know V0. So according to definition, RMS value of the output voltage would be this. This is the formula. And here, so what is this? So this integration of V0 square d omega t is area under curve, and find out that you will get area under curve would be this, and substitute that in this mathematical expression. You will get what is called VOR, that is RMS value of output voltage. And coming to the average value and RMS value of output voltages, so you can find this way. So first find out mathematical expression for I0. So during this period, that is from omega t ranging from 0 to theta 1 and pi minus theta 1 to 2 pi, that is during the reverse bias period of Vd, that is I0 is going to be 0. And remaining period, that is during the conduction period, that is from theta 1 to pi minus theta 1, during this period, the load current is same as Vm sin omega t minus E by R. So this is the mathematical expression. And use this mathematical expression to find out average value and RMS value. The average value of output current is equal to so 1 by 2 pi integration of I0 d omega t, so where integration limits are varying from 0 to 2 pi. So from this you will finally arrive at this particular expression. So I0 is equal to average value of output voltage minus E by R, or you can rewrite this way. So V0 is equal to what? So V0 is equal to average value of output voltage, that is equal to battery voltage plus average value of output current into R. So we know what is V0. So from the previous slide you can find out what mathematical average value of the output voltage. So average value of output voltage is equal to battery voltage plus R into average value of output current. So this also can be used to calculate, because we know V0, we know E, and we know R. So from that you can find out what is I0, average value of output current. Similarly, if one wants to find out RMS value of output current, yes, you can find out using this formula. And area under this I0 square from ranging from 0 to 2 pi, so can be computed this way. But we know that area under I0 square exists from theta 1 to pi minus theta 1 only. Remaining period it is equal to 0, so no need to consider area from theta 0 to theta 1 and pi minus theta 1 to 2 pi. So consider area only during this period. And if you simplify and so consider that area and substitute that in this expression, you will get what is called IOR, that is RMS value of the output current. So once you find that, find out average value of power supplied by the source. So average value of power supplied by source is same as average value of power consumed by load, and this is required in order to compute the input power factor. So we know the average power supplied by the source is equal to, so that is the instantaneous power, that is equal to V0 into I0 over one period, average value of this instantaneous power over one period. So this is instantaneous power P0. So integrate that over one cycle and divide it by the time the period for one cycle, you will get the average value of output voltage, average value of power consumed by the load, which is same as power delivered by the source. So use this, follow this derivation. Okay, follow this derivation. So finally you will arrive at this kind of mathematical expression. So P0 is equal to, so this value into R plus E into this value. And what is this value? So this value, if you see, this is equal to RMS value of I0 square. So I0 OR, so IOR square. This is IOR square, right? And what is this? So this is I0. So this is the average value of the output current. So substitute that. So power absorbed by load is equal to power absorbed by resistor, which is equal to RMS value of the current to resistor square into R, plus power absorbed by battery, that is equal to E into I naught. So that is battery voltage into average value of power current drawn by the battery. So I derived this purposefully because in previous loads, we have, so in case of R load, L load, RL load, we have passive elements. So there is only one element which can receive the power, that is resistor, and power received by the resistor is equal to IOR square into R simply. But in case of battery, you have small change, so that you have to observe here. So power absorbed by resistor is I naught IOR square into R, that is okay, but power absorbed by the battery is equal to E into average value of the load current. So this is one of the important observation one has to remember. So now, so once you find out this power absorbed by load, which is same as power delivered by the source, so input power factor is equal to average power supplied by the source by input VA. So average power supplied by the load supplied by the source is equal to P naught, which is same as this, and input VA is equal to Vs into Is, RMS value of input voltage into RMS value of input current, and that is the RMS value of input voltage is equal to Vs, which is equal to Vm by root 2, and RMS value of source current, which is same as the RMS value of the load current, because both are equal for entire time period. So that way one can compute the input power factor. So I have considered the calculation of input power factor for only this load because you may find difficulty in finding power factor for this case only. Remaining cases it is easy. So once you know IOR, you can compute the power absorbed by the load. So this is somewhat difficult to understand. So I thought I would explain this. How do you arrive at this particular formula? Okay. So this is about the single phase half wave diode rectifier with the various loads. So anyway, thank you, and if you have any queries or any doubts, so please reach me through the mail ID that is given in the description. Thank you.